We've got 10 minutes. Let's do an upper body focused yoga flow for nervous system regulation. So you can start in a comfortable seated position. You can be in a chair. You can be on the floor. And we're just going to do whatever it is that you need to do in your body to feel like you can start to settle in. So for me, that was sort of rolling my head and neck, shifting from side to side. And then when you feel ready, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, a nice full exhale out. Let your shoulders come down if they're willing to. Sometimes they're not, that's okay, but we're just going to settle into our breath here. Several rounds of breath in through the nose, nice full exhale out through the mouth. We're going to start by wiggling our face around just a little bit. We're going to scrunch our entire face up. I know this looks silly. Scrunch your whole face up and then release. Do that again. Scrunch your whole face up and then release. Scrunch and release. Now we're going to split our face into sides of our face. So we're going to start by bringing your right hand up to cover the right side of your face. And we're literally just going to scrunch and squint up the left side of our face. We're going to scrunch and release several times here. There are several nerves in our face. We're going to swap hands here. So covering your left side of your face now, squint and release just that right side. There are several nerves in your face that work with your vagus nerve to do polyvagal theory. And we're just letting those know, hey, buddy, we're here. We're going to grab our first two fingers, and I like to literally grab my eyebrow bone and massage kind of all the skin of my eyebrows. That feels really, really nice for me. And again, we're kind of aiming for those nerves that work with the vagus nerve. Rubbing our whole face here. We're just going to give a quick little bit of love to our lymphatic system. So we're going to rub our ears. I really love to take full circles with my ears, both directions, dragging between our ears and our collarbone, and then rubbing that soft spot behind our collarbone to open those termini, the terminus points of our lymphatic system. If that seems overwhelming or you don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to skip it, no worries. We're going to settle into some spinal motion here. We're going to start with our yeses. So really full range of motion, looking all the way up to the top of that yes, all the way down to the bottom of your yes. Several times here. And maybe the next time you pause at the top of that yes, maybe you chew some air biscuits, move your bottom jaw from side to side. And then at the bottom of that yes, maybe you interlace your fingers behind your head to give yourself just a little bit of counter pressure. So push your head back into your hands, pull your hands into your head. I like to wiggle a little bit from side to side. This feels really, really nice in my spine. And then again, top of the yes, we chew some air biscuits. Bottom of the yes, we interlace our fingers, give ourselves counter pressure, head into hands, hands into head. A little bit of a wiggle from side to side here. Starting to say hello to some of those cranial nerves, especially the vagus. It spits out right at the base of our skull. If you wanted to here, you could even maybe massage the base of your skull, those muscles right at the bottom of your skull, called the suboccipital muscles. Not a pop quiz, just a fun fact. And then when you're ready, we move into our no motions here. So full range of motion with your nose, going the full range of motion with your neck, and then also letting your eyes move with those nose as well too. And from here, we're just going to stop our head and we're going to practice our eyes moving and our eyes tracking. There are several cranial nerves that play together to help our eyes move and to track smoothly. And then when you're ready, track with your eyes all the way to one side and then track your head all the way around. For me, that got an immediate big deep exhale. Track with your eyes opposite direction first and then let your head follow. Again, nice big exhale on the opposite side for me too. Tracking with our eyes and then with our head. And then again back to the other side, tracking with our eyes and then our head. And then we'll come back into center, settle in for just a moment, and then move into our seated cats and cows. So arch your back, send your chest forward, look up towards the sky, and then really round your back, hunch over chin to chest here. I like the movement to come from the center of my chest. So it is the center of my chest pushing forward, and then the center of my chest pulling back. And then I love to find wiggles here. So finding wiggles in both the cow posture, so chest forward, gaze up, and then cat, which is when you're kind of hunched over. And then from here, we're going to just twist a little bit side to side. I'm twisting over to my right to begin with to start out. Maybe a little bit of head and neck motion, just rolling around, whatever feels good. And then we're twisting back to the opposite direction here. And again, nothing crazy, just finding some head and neck motions that feel good to you. The goal here is to feel good in your body. The goal here is to find movement that makes you walk away feeling better than when you sat down. That is our goal. That is our purpose here. That is going to look different for you than it looks for me, but we're going side to side, twisting back towards the right if you haven't already, and then twisting back towards the left. Again, finding whatever organic head and neck movement sounds good to you and feels good in your body. And then we come back into center and take a nice seated forward fold. So as far over as you would like to go is A-okay. For me, I'm going to take a seated ragdoll. I'm going to fold my arms into my elbows and then lean forward, shifting my weight from side to side, finding that forward fold. Several rounds of breath here in that forward fold. And then we come back up to seated. Again, wiggling, finding yourself back in your neutral position. And taking a few moments just to come back into your breath, finding that inhale through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. Either making your inhales match your exhales or stretching your exhales out a little bit longer, which is what I did here. Several rounds of breath, nothing crazy. Just coming back into that breath. Any little wiggles that feel good for you are A-okay. Now palms come straight out in front of us like we were going to press into the wall. Palms come down towards our chest, and then back of our hands come up towards our face here, alternating, really exaggerating the movement in your hands and your fingers, really getting some movement into all of those wrist joints, and we're going to alternate. I like to make fists and move my arms and my wrists in circles. You can make some nice big circles if you like. Interlace those fingers, kind of wiggle your wrists around in circles. This is kind of fun. It feels like being a little kid again. And then we're going to just shift our torso here from side to side. So hands come down, literally rib cage and torso shift right to left. If you ever did a dancer's warm up, that's kind of what we're doing here. And then the next time you come to the right hand comes down, left arm comes up and over. We're going to hang out in our lean. That left hand may come down to your left hip. And then we're going to find some sort of expressive movement here. So you can either rainbow your arm all the way up and over. So this is some dynamic twisting movement. We're leaning to the right, yes, but we're also twisting our torso towards our knee. You can either have that top arm bent with your hand behind your head, or you can have your arms straight. We're going to come back into center, and we're just going to tick-tock a few times. So we're going to lean right and left. This is very different from the torso movement, right? That was just our rib cage. This is us leaning from side to side, finding a little bit of side to side movement before we settle in on the left side. So left hand comes down, right hand comes to right hip, and we can either bring that hand behind our head, or we can start to rainbow our top arm out and over. I like to do a little bit of both. I like to have a straight arm sometimes, and then I like to bend my elbow, almost like we're doing a crunch here, but the goal is to stretch the back line of our body. And then when it feels right to you, we're going to come back into center. We're going to maybe find one of those little forward folds here again, maybe a couple of seated cats and cows, whatever feels nice for you. I like to come into some shaking motion. So just a nice little bit of somatic shaking, whatever you feel like you need to do in your head, your face, your body, wiggle it out. And what my body needed today was a little bit of shadow boxing. So you're going to see me bring it in and take a few little shadow boxing punches. And if that's for you, that's A-okay. We're going to ride that out. But whenever you're ready, we're going to take a moment and settle back in, coming back into your breath, into your body, wiggling and finding your center. Maybe one last breath together here. Nice, full, deep inhale through your nose. And then on that exhale, sigh it out, let it all go. And when you're ready, we'll bring hands to heart center. As always, thank y'all so much for sharing your yoga with me. It's such an honor to be part of your practice. Until next time, you guys, namaste.